That feeling, wanting to improve, to just be a bit better. It's something we all get, right?
Absolutely. It's almost universal.
And that's exactly what we're getting into today. We're doing a deep dive into Hal Elrod's book, The Miracle Morning.
Yeah, and our mission here isn't just to give you a summary. We want to really unpack the main ideas, see how this whole morning routine thing he talks about could actually, help you find more success, more well-being.
Sounds good. So we'll look at Elrod's own story, which is pretty intense.
Definitely. And then the core arguments he makes, the Life S.A.V.E.R.S, we'll break those down.
Right, the S-A-V-E-R-S and that 30-day challenge he proposes.
Exactly. Basically figuring out if this could be a real shortcut to positive change for you.
Okay, let's start with his story then. That car accident in 1999. It sounds almost unbelievable.
It really does. I mean, fractured pelvis, snapped femur, he was in a coma, clinically dead for 6 minutes. It's wow.
A really stark beginning. And the prognosis was, well, not good.
Not at all. Doctors were saying he might never walk again, potential permanent brain damage. Grim stuff.
But that's not how it played out, is it?
Not even close. This is where it gets incredible. Within 1 year, he's not only walking, but he's back working sales at Cutco.
And not just back, but doing incredibly well.
Yeah, finished number 6 in the whole company. Tens of thousands of reps, and he's number 6 after all that. Then he starts motivational speaking.
That kind of turnaround is just phenomenal. Did he stick with speaking right away?
Well, he tried writing a book around 2002, but felt, not quite ready. So he actually went back to Cutco.
Back to Cutco, okay.
Yeah, but into management this time. And by 2004, his office was number 1 in the company, got into their Hall of Fame. Seems like he'd really hit his stride there.
But then something shifted again, right? At a conference in 2005.
Right. He went to this Cutco conference, planning for it to be his last one with them. And while he was there, watching the top awards being given out, he had this big realization.
What was that?
That despite all the success, he'd never actually given it his absolute all for a full year, never totally committed. And seeing those awards, it just clicked. He decided, okay, 1 more year, but this time, full throttle.
And that decision, that seemed to push him more towards the speaking and coaching path.
It definitely looks like a catalyst, yeah. But it wasn't all smooth sailing from there.
Ah, okay. What happened?
He talks about hitting a real low point later on, financially, emotionally, a real rock bottom, as he calls it.
Even after all that earlier success?
Yeah, it seems like a perfect storm of things. His health, his mental state, his finances, everything took a hit. Deep in debt, feeling pretty hopeless, apparently. Tried different self-help stuff, coaching, but nothing was really breaking through.
Wow. So what finally pulled him out of it? What was the turning point?
It's funny. It was something pretty simple. A friend just suggested he go for a run, clear his head.
A run. Okay.
Oh.
Was he a runner?
Not at all.
Yeah.
That's the thing. But he went, and while he was running, he was listening to Jim Rohn, the personal development guy.
Ah, Jim Rohn. Okay.
And he heard this quote: "Your level of success will rarely exceed your level of personal development, because success is something you attract by the person you become." And that, he says, just fundamentally changed everything for him. His whole perspective shifted.
That's powerful. So the Miracle Morning essentially grew out of that realization.
Pretty much. It's the foundation.
So what are the main arguments in the book? What's he really saying?
He boils it down to 3 core imperatives, as he calls them. First one. You listening are totally worthy and capable of amazing success in everything, just as much as anyone else, no exceptions.
Okay, that's a strong start. What's the second?
Second, if you really want to achieve that success, not just settle, you have to dedicate time every day to personal development, to becoming that person who can actually attract and handle that success. It's not optional, basically.
Makes sense. Become the person who deserves the success.
Mm-hmm.
And the third?
Third is that changing your morning routine is the fastest, most effective way to change any area of your life. Transform your morning, transform your life faster than you might think.
He certainly makes some big promises about the benefits.
Yeah.
What kind of things does he claim this Miracle Morning can do?
Oh, yeah. The list is pretty impressive. He says it can, rapidly lower stress, help you bust through challenges and limiting beliefs, improve your health, make you more productive, give you laser focus.
Wow. Okay. Keep going.
More gratitude, less worry, boosts your earning potential significantly, helps you find your life purpose, and maybe most importantly, stop settling for less than you know you're capable of.
That's quite a list.
Yeah.
So the core of how you do this is the Life S-A-V-E-R-S acronym. Let's unpack that. First up is S for silence.
Right. And this isn't just about being quiet, it's purposeful silence, intentionally creating quiet time to reduce stress, get clarity, find some inner peace.
So not just sitting there hoping your mind goes blank.
Exactly. He quotes Matthew Kelly, actually. You can learn more in an hour of silence than you can in a year from books, which is quite a statement, right? Highlights the potential for self-discovery in that quiet.
Okay. So what do you do during this silence time?
He suggests things like meditation, prayer, just reflecting, deep breathing exercises, or focusing on gratitude. You can pick one, mix them up, whatever feels right for you that morning. The main goal is just to quiet the noise in your head, relax, and be present.
Meditation seems like a big part of that. How does he approach meditation, especially for beginners?
He makes it really accessible, says the core is just focusing or quieting your mind for a set time. Doesn't have to be complicated. He points out all the research showing benefits, like serious health benefits. Some studies suggest it can be as effective as meds for certain things.
Really? Like what?
Things like improving metabolism, blood pressure, brain activity, better sleep, better focus. Some even suggest it might help you live longer. And he stresses that even just a few minutes a day makes a difference.
Okay, so if someone's never tried it, how do they start? Does he give like simple steps?
Yep, a simple 5-step method. First, get your mindset right. The goal isn't zero thoughts, it's just being present. Second, don't expect perfection right away. It's okay if your mind wanders.
Okay.
Third, focus on your breath. He suggests maybe breathing in for 3 seconds, hold briefly, breathe out for 3 seconds. Fourth, when thoughts pop up and they will just notice them, don't judge, and gently bring your focus back to your breath.
Acknowledge and release.
Exactly. And fifth, maybe visualize breathing in positive energy and breathing out worries. And start small, just 5 minutes. The idea is you're training your attention, becoming less reactive over time.
Got it. Okay, next letter. A for affirmations. This is about talking to yourself positively.
Precisely. He sees affirmations as really powerful tools to consciously design the mindset you need for success. Like Muhammad Ali constantly saying, I am the greatest.
Right. He programmed himself.
Exactly. Elrod argues affirmations let you actively steer your thoughts and beliefs where you want them to go. Though, just repeating stuff without believing it probably won't do much. The key is aligning them with what you truly want and then acting accordingly.
He mentioned using them himself after the accident, didn't he?
He did. He talked about having serious short-term memory problems after the brain injury. For years, he just accepted, I have a bad memory. Then he started affirming daily, I have an excellent memory.
And did it work?
He said at first, nothing seemed to change, but after about 2 months, he suddenly remembered to call a friend something he always forgot. That experience really cemented his belief in them.
Okay, so how do you create good affirmations? What are his steps?
He lays out 5 key things. First, get crystal clear on what you actually want. Health, money, relationships. Write down your ideal vision.
Be specific.
Second, figure out why you want it. What are the deep reasons? That gives you purpose. Third, who do you need to become to achieve it? What growth is needed?
So it's not just about the outcome, but who you are.
Right. Fourth, what specific actions will you commit to doing? Be concrete. How often? How much? But he also says, start small, make it manageable, so you stick with it.
Build momentum. Makes sense.
And finally, fifth, add in inspirational quotes or philosophies that resonate with you, just to boost the power.
All right. Moving on to V's visualization.
Picturing success.
Exactly. Mentally rehearsing what you want to achieve and also imagining yourself being the person who achieves it. He mentions examples like golfers, Jack Nicklaus, and Tiger Woods always visualizing shots.
Or Will Smith, Jim Carrey writing himself that check.
Yeah, those famous stories. It's about making it real in your mind first.
So how does he suggest doing it in the Miracle Morning?
3 simple steps again. First, vividly imagine what you want. Use all your senses. Make it feel real. Second, picture yourself actually doing it, achieving it. Feel those good feelings of accomplishment.
Feel the win.
Totally. And third, this is important. Visualize yourself being the kind of person who does the necessary actions and enjoying the process. See yourself liking the positive habits. Okay, so not just the end goal, but enjoying the journey too.
Exactly. He says doing this daily aligns your thoughts and feelings with your goals, which boosts motivation and helps beat procrastination. He suggests about 5 minutes for this too.
Cool. Next is exercise. Pretty obvious benefits here, but what's his specific take for the morning?
He really emphasizes how even a short burst of exercise first thing can massively boost your energy for the whole day. Plus, better health, more confidence, sharper thinking, better concentration.
Even short bursts.
Yeah, he even says, look, If you really push for time, even a 60-second high-intensity thing can make a difference. Just get the blood flowing.
And he mentioned yoga specifically, too.
He includes a perspective from an expert named Dashama who talks about yoga not just as exercise, but as this whole science for creating well-being, balancing body, mind, spirit. It covers meditation, breath work, postures, the whole package.
Okay, R for reading. A self-help author recommending reading. Not a huge shocker.
Huh? True. But his angle is specifically on personal development books. He sees them as gold mines of knowledge and ideas that can genuinely change your life.
He pushes back against people who think self-help is cheesy.
Yeah, he kind of calls out that attitude, saying if you're too cool for self-help, you're basically cutting yourself off from the wisdom of people who've already figured stuff out. He gives examples of books for wealth, relationships, that kind of thing.
How much reading does he suggest?
He recommends aiming for at least 10 pages a day,
No.
but says even 5 is great if you're starting out or read slower. He does the math, 10 pages a day is like 18 books a year. Imagine the growth from that.
That does add up. Any tips for reading effectively?
Yeah, 2 main ones. First, know why you're reading the book. What do you want to get out of it? Have a purpose. Second, actually engage with it. Underline stuff, highlight, take notes. Make it easy to come back to the key ideas later without rereading everything.
Good advice. Okay, last one. Cells for scribing. Journaling, basically.
Right, scribing. He admits he used to struggle with journaling consistently himself, bought loads of empty notebooks.
I think many of us can relate to that.
Totally. But he emphasizes the big benefits. Getting clarity on your thoughts, tracking your progress, and really deepening gratitude.
He mentioned something called Gratitude 2.0.
Yeah, it's this idea of reviewing old journal entries. He found he could feel the gratitude from past moments and his present gratitude at the same time, like layering it up. He also talks about accelerated growth, reviewing journals to spot lessons learned, and then making new commitments based on them.
So it's not just writing, it's reviewing, too. What about formats, physical versus digital?
He says use whatever works for you. Traditional paper journals, he even mentions specific ones like the Winner's Journal or his own Miracle Morning Journal. Or digital apps like Day One or Penzu are fine too.
And what should you write about?
Again, depends on you. Could be gratitude, things you accomplished, areas you want to improve, or just planning out your actions for the day. The key is just getting thoughts out of your head and onto the page.
Okay, so those are the 6 S-A-V-E-R-S. But what if someone hears all that and thinks, wow, that sounds like a lot of time?
Yeah, it can seem daunting, which is why he created the Miracle Morning 6-minute version, a super condensed routine for when you're really short on time.
6 minutes. Okay, how does that work? Break it down.
It's rapid fire. Minute 1, silence. Just sit and breathe purposefully. Minute 2, affirmations. Quickly read your key affirmations, your priorities.
Okay.
Minute 3, visualization. 1 minute imagining your goals, seeing success. Minute 4, exercise. Jumping jacks, push-ups, run in place, just move for 60 seconds.
Get the heart rate up.
Exactly. Minute 5, reading. Read 1 single page from a self-help book, just one. Minute 6, scribing. Quickly write down 1 thing you're grateful for or your top goal for the day. Done.
Wow. 6 minutes, 6 practices.
Yeah, and he stresses it's totally adaptable. It's a starting point. You can customize it however you need. The point is consistency, even if it's brief.
That makes it much less intimidating. Now, he also talks about a 30-day life transformation challenge. What's the idea behind that?
The challenge is really designed to help you build the mindset and lock in the habits needed to make the Miracle Morning stick long term. He acknowledges that changing habits is hard.
Why is it so hard?
Well, he says we're often kind of addicted to our old ways, our comfort zones, and often we just lack a good strategy for actually installing a new habit effectively.
He also mentioned that whole 21-day myth about habit formation.
Right. He debunks that a bit. That idea comes from Dr. Maxwell Maltz, a plastic surgeon back in the day, who noticed amputees took about 21 days to adjust to losing a limb. But Elrod points out that doesn't mean all habits form in 21 days. Some take longer, especially complex ones. It's not a magic number.
Okay, so his 30-day challenge has phases.
Yes, 3 phases to expect. Days 1 to 10 he calls unbearable. This is usually the hardest part, lots of resistance, feels uncomfortable, maybe even painful.
Push through the pain.
Pretty much. Then days 11 to 20 are uncomfortable. It's getting easier, becoming more routine, but still requires conscious effort. The resistance is fading.
Okay, getting there.
And finally, days 21 to 30 are unstoppable. This is where ideally you start actually enjoying the habit. It feels natural, part of who you are. Reinforcement kicks in.
Unbearable. Uncomfortable, unstoppable. I like that.
Yeah.
He shared a story about running, didn't he? Overcoming a belief.
Yeah, a great one. He truly believed he just wasn't a runner, largely because of the physical issues from his accident. But he committed to running a marathon as part of a
A
challenge.
marathon from not being a runner.
Yep. And he twisted his ankle early in training, had every reason to quit, but he kept going, pushed through the doubt and discomfort. And incredibly, he and some friends ended up running a 52-mile ultramarathon.
Wow. 52 miles.
Insane, right? But it perfectly illustrates his point about commitment and just taking it one step at a time, even when the goal seems impossible. He also briefly touches on how important accountability is for making habits stick, having someone check in on you.
Powerful story. Okay, one last piece he includes is this email that will change your life. What's that about? Sounds dramatic.
It's definitely bold. The idea is about proactively seeking honest feedback for growth. He actually did this himself.
What did you do?
He emailed friends, family, colleagues, and basically asked them, what are the top 3 things I could improve on? And he specifically asked for brutal honesty.
Ooh, that takes guts. Asking for criticism like that.
Totally. It requires real vulnerability,
Yeah.
but he believes the payoff is huge in terms of self-awareness.
So what should be in this email if someone dares to send it?
He gives a template, basically. Thank them for their time. Explain you're working on self-improvement and value their perspective. Ask clearly for their top 3 areas for your improvement. Reassure them honesty is welcome and won't hurt your feelings. Maybe offer to return the favor.
I'd use BCC.
Oh, definitely use BCC to protect everyone's privacy. The potential reward, he says, is getting invaluable clarity on your blind spots, which is crucial for making real change.
Fascinating, if slightly terrifying idea. Okay, so wrapping up this whole deep dive into the miracle morning, what are the absolute key takeaways people should hold on to?
I think the biggest thing is the power of intention in the morning. How consciously designing those first waking moments can literally change the direction of your day and ultimately your life.
It sets the tone.
Exactly. The Life S.A.V.E.R.S gives you a really practical, flexible toolbox to do that. And the 30-day challenge offers a path to make it stick. But fundamentally, it comes back to that Jim Rohn quote, right?
Your success depends on who you become.
Precisely. And Elrod's argument is that your morning routine is the prime time, maybe the best time, to actively work on becoming that person. It's the ultimate leverage point for personal
Look,
development.
it really shifts the focus from just doing more to being more. This has been really illuminating. It makes you think differently about hitting the snooze button, doesn't it?
It definitely does.
So a final thought for you listening. When are you going to stop just letting your mornings happen to you and start consciously designing them to become the person capable of creating the life you truly want? Maybe just pick one of those S.A.V.E.R.S. Which one resonates most right now? Perhaps that's your starting point for your own miracle morning journey.